Today I'm going to make 家常 tofu. 家常 tofu just means homemade, home style tofu. So here's the tofu I pick out from the Japanese local supermarket. This one is fresh made for of the day, so I usually leave it overnight. The next day I'll cook it and it's more firm. If you couldn't find the fresh made tofu, you can just pick the packaged ones and try to find the ones labeled with the firmest. So probably 4 or 5. Okay, here's the rest of the ingredients. We got some vegetables. So tofu by itself, it doesn't have much flavor to it, but it's really healthy to eat. So the trick to make it more delicious is depending on the vegetable you cook with it and the spice you're using. So I just use the vegetables I like. For example, green peppers. You can choose bell pepper or different colors for the pertinence of the dish, and carrots. And I really like Chinese cabbage. It's really good to cook, add some Chinese cabbage to the flavor. Here's all the spice I use, and you don't have to use any of this, just whatever spice you like. And I add some dried red chili peppers for the spiciness. I like spicy dish, but it's really common to add garlic and onion. And I got couple star spice to the oil later on. And then I cut it in half. And slice it into triangles. I'm going to dry them individually again before I put them in a hot pan. And now you see a little bit smoking come out of the pan, so the oil is hot. I'm going to turn my fan on. It's going to be smoky. And I'll add my star spice in the oil first before I add the tofu in, so the oil get a little bit flavor. After I toss in the star spice and I stir it a little bit, and then I turn the stove to medium, and now I put the tofu pieces in. And be careful the splashing, because if your tofu full wet, it's gonna splash. I turn the heat a little bit up to medium high now, and I'm just going to leave the tofu in there for a few minutes until you check it. The bottom of it will be a little bit golden brown. Then we're gonna flip it. While waiting on the tofu gets cooked, we start preparing the vegetables. I'll start with the carrot. Slice it with the angle is will cook faster. Now I'm going to pick your peppers. That's the look we want. While still waiting for the tofu to be cooked, and here we're going to make the sauce, which is super important for this dish. So in the sauce, the ingredient you need is, the most important one is cornstarch. I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon cornstarch. About 1/3 tablespoon of sugar. Almost 1/2 tablespoon of salt. almost 1 tablespoon of white vinegar and half tablespoon of soy sauce. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of water and mix it ready to use later. The more cornstarch you add, the thicker the sauce is. If later you realize the dish is not thick enough, the sauce is not thick enough, we can add more cornstarch. And make sure cornstarch always use with cold water before adding into the dish. Otherwise it will be gluey. Let's check on the tofu. In the middle, still a little bit soft. You don't want to overcook it too much, otherwise it's too hard to chew. If you don't have any more left, make sure you add some more vegetable oil. And then start with the hot chili pepper. And the heat is on medium-high. The vegetable seems almost ready. Now I'm going to add the tofu back in. Even them out. And here is the sauce we earlier made, and make sure you stir it before use. Here's all the flavors, and we're just gonna pour it on it. And after a while, you see if it's too liquidy, that means the starch is too thin. If it's too thick, like chunks, then you need to add some cold water. Right now it seems okay. The reason to pour this sauce on is for the consistency of this dish. It's really important to keep all the flavors in. If you just add salt, it doesn't keep all the flavors in like starch does. You see the starch start thickening up? Now this dish is pretty much done. You always want to taste it before you take the dish out. So I'm going to taste the vegetable. If the vegetables are salty enough, and that means the dish is good. It's good, but I think personally I like saltier food, so I add a little bit more salt. And I'll turn the stove off. Here's the jiachang tofu, homestyle tofu. I'm trying to make videos more often, so if you like this style of cook, please like my video and subscribe my channel. Thank you, and hopefully you enjoy your dish.